tank rigging tutorial you just saw can be found on this DVD. I'm Luigi Tramontana, CTO at Craft Animations. So, what do? We provide a groundbreaking set of animation tools for speed animation. These tools are superior to anything on the market right now. Why will be obvious. Craft Director Tools is a suite of plugins for Maya and Max. There are two categories of tools. Tools for camera animation and tools for vehicle animation. Craft Director Tools gives you real-time control over complex simulations, either with a joystick or automatically with the autopilot functionality. Let's have a look at two clips explaining these concepts. Okay, so first we have the joystick control simulation. And as you can see here, the joystick is controlling the motion of the helicopter as well as firing off the missiles and controlling the turret. Next we have the autopilot control simulation. As we see here, the cars are following their respective green crosses, and they can be placed on a motion path or something like that. This autopilot method is the method they use to control the Cessna airplane at the end of the movie Get Smart. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so as mentioned earlier, this tutorial can be found on the DVD. Next we will have a look at Craft Camera Tools, tools for cinematic CG. Let's use some cameras in action here in a car chase scenario, where we will use a couple of camera tools in a way that they should be used, namely in motion hierarchies. First we have a look at the ordinary look at cam. What we see here is that it's doing its job and it's tracking the cars as we expect. However, what is obvious here is that everything is too exact. It feels very much like a video game or something. So, to spice it up a little bit, we add an auto zoom cam. The auto zoom cam immediately gives the clip a totally different feel, as you see here, much more juicy, so to speak. But what can also be seen here, especially in the drive-by, is that it's still too perfect. You would never be able to film like that if you're filming yourself, right? So we add a motion filter cam. The motion filter cam adds a slow bouncy secondary drag motion, and what we will see here at the drive-by is very interesting. There. We have the cameraman sort of miss the whole center part. Let's look at that again. Sort of sways out of the picture, much more realistic. However, to add even more human feel to it, we add a humanizer cam, which adds slow sideways movements randomly so that the camera is no longer centered at the red object anymore. Let's have a look at that again. So you see here, it's deviating from the center, giving it a much more action-packed feeling immediately. There are of course many more cameras than these. For example, we have a pre-rigged camera setup with multiple tools for the GCS3 from Gamecaster. Gamecaster provides a physical camera rig, which they call the GCS3. And this camera works in a way that a real cameraman could take control of a virtual camera inside a 3D world and work with exactly the same controls as a professional cameraman uses today. This pre-rigged camera setup for the GCS3 is also equipped with our spline speed controller, a very important plugin. It's like a camera rail, so what we see here is that we put out waypoints along the spline, telling the carriage at what speed it should travel on the spline. For example, initially it's 3. Then, when we pass the green waypoint, it accelerates to 20 units per second. And if it's red, it should stop and wait until we push the button to start again. And then it accelerates to 5 units per second, and so on. And as you can see here, there is a camera on top of the carriage, so you also film from the carriage in real time. It can also function as a speed controller for vehicles. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so this wraps this presentation up, and as before, this tutorial can be found on this DVD or on our homepage. Thank you very much.